But he was like, but don't worry, you can try out for the Powder Puff team next week. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dixie Noel and I'm going to be doing some makeups for you today. In today's video, I give a little story time about me when I was younger, playing sports. There were some bad things, some sad things, and maybe even some inspiring things. So stay tuned for that story. I also played around with the Juvia's Place Warrior 3 palette. Here it is. It's such a pretty palette. I loved it. I really had fun playing with this palette. So stay tuned for Makeup and Chill. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It would really help me out. And let's get into it. Okay, so this story begins back when I was about 8 years old. I really wanted to play baseball, so my grandmother signed me up. And I did my thing out in the outfield, and it was all fine and dandy. I really wanted to pitch, but, you know, I was just, whatever. I was out in the outfield doing my own thing. When I signed up, there were both boys and girls, and it was just, I don't know, it wasn't a thought in my mind. It was like, okay, this is the norm. Because I always played with boys growing up. Like, I had one friend growing up, and he was a boy, I was a girl, and I did boy things. Like, I was always out in the woods, blah, 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 all that. Anyways, back to my story. So, I played Little League Baseball at 8. Signed up, had a blast, it was cool. Well, towards the end of the season, the coach pulled my grandmother aside, and I honestly had no idea where this had come from. But the coach told my grandmother, he was like, he was like, I've never seen an arm on a little girl like that before. Like, just stick with it. He looked at me and was like, just stick with it. And there is no reason why you can't get a scholarship. So I was like, dang, really? Like, he pulled me aside. Like, his son was the pitcher. Like, why wasn't I pitching then? Anyway, that's beside the point. But anyway, it made me feel good, right? I was like, okay, gave me some confidence. Started practicing more, started doing my thing. Well, then one day while me and my grandmother and I think my cousin, we were at a place called All Stars, which is just like a family fun place. Has an arcade, had a little jungle gym type deal. It was a place for kids, and it was tra-la-la-la-la. It was just a happy place. Well, they were advertising a baseball camp at the local college. And I was like, whoa, okay. This was only like maybe a few months or something after my Little League season. And I, you know, pumped. He was like, just stick with it. And I was like, grandma. And y'all didn't know my grandma, but she spoiled us, okay? She did what she could to spoil us. She always was there for our hopes and dreams. That's one thing I remember about my grandma. Anyway, I was like, grandma. I want to do this. I want to do this baseball camp. And she was like, okay, that's what's up. Cool deal. Sign me right up. No hesitations. Anyway, so we go to sign up. And the gentlemen at the table, they start freaking out. They're like, she's a girl. I'm like, yeah, I'm a girl. What's up? I want to play baseball. And I wanted to do the overnight program, but they wouldn't let me because I was the only girl out of like 800 kids. Okay, I was the only girl out of 800 kids. And they were freaking out. This had never happened before. They didn't know what to do, man. And so I was not able to do the overnight program because they would have to put me in a dorm by myself and, you know, things like that. And I understand it, but I was bummed out at the time because I wanted the whole camp experience, right? Anyway, so I didn't get to do that. And y'all, that first day was a little bit obnoxious. I mean, it was fun. I got to play baseball, but I felt it was so weird because on my Little League team, I felt at home. You know, there was girls and boys, and we all had fun, and the parents got in and bought bubble gum and Gatorade for the kids, you know. And it was just a happy time. But then this camp, it felt so different. Like, the vibe was just so incredibly different. Like, they wouldn't even call me by my name. The other boys, the other kids, they were just like, hey, girl. Hey, that girl over there. I was the original thought, I guess. Instead of that hoe over there, it was that girl over there. But whatever. I tried not to let it get to me. I did my thing. But that first day, y'all, I wanted to quit. I wanted to quit. I was out. I was not feeling it. Nobody liked me, you know. And I was better than most of them. Like, I was legit better than most of them too, and I don't think they liked that either. So I wanted to quit. I went to my grandma that night and I was like, Grandma, I want to quit. And y'all, she started fussing me out. She was like, I done paid all this money. You gonna go back? She was like, why do you want to quit? And I told her why. And she was like, no, you got to bear and grin it. That's what she always told me. You got to bear and grin some things. Some things you're not gonna like. You're not gonna like the people around. But if you give up now, you're gonna regret it. And I was like, On top of that, my whole body was sore and everything like that. So anyways, I didn't quit. I showed up the next day, and after me and my grandma's little talk, I was like, okay, I had a little bit more of an attitude about it now. So I would go out there and I was doing it just as hard as I can. When we were running, I would run just as hard as I can. When we were batting, I would bat just as hard. I would throw just as hard as I can. I was just going hard, right? And I remember something cringy I did. I remember at one point a boy was like, I don't remember exactly what he said, but it was something along the lines of, he and that girl, blah, 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 all that. And my cringy self, this is something that makes me cringe when I think about it, but I look back at him and I was like, don't hate me because I'm beautiful. And okay, my grandma loved that. I went and told her that, and she lived for that story. She was like, oh, that's so cute. You tell him, honey. You tell him, honey, my Dixie darling. Anyway, so I stuck with it, kept going. It was day 2 was over, and now it's time for day 3. Well, by the end of day 3, they had what was called a home run derby. And it's where all the kids, all the little groups would go to home plate on a college standard field at 8, 9, 10 years old and try to have a contest to see who could do the most home runs. Spoiler alert, I did not win. But. So when it was my turn, I went up to bat, and batting was always my least fun thing. Like, I always had terrible vision. I could never make contact with the ball. But when I did make contact with the ball, boo, I mean, it went. So I go up to plate and I get my little batting position, and they use a batting machine or a ball throwing machine, and they start slinging balls at me. And I'm missing them. People are giggling and laughing at me. The boys are giggling and laughing at me. And, you know, they're like, the girl sucks, blah, 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 blah. And it wasn't the last ball, but it was like the one right before. And I actually made contact. I hit it. And y'all, that ball went further than any of them. Any of the boys before me, after me, that shit went... And the sound of behind me, couldn't tell me nothing after that. That made me feel so good. Just their reaction and just how far it went. Coaches ended up telling me I was like in the higher percentile as far as skill goes. Not with batting, but with other things. So that made me feel good. So now I'm feeling really hyped, right? I had just left them gasping at the baseball field, and I still had the image in my mind about the coach telling me that if I just stuck with it, I could get a scholarship, and he had never seen an arm like that in his life. So I had a lot of confidence now at this point in my baseball skills. Well, my plan was this next following semester of school, which was middle school. Yeah, that's right. It was 5th grade, and then the next grade was 6th, so then I would be eligible for school sports. That's why I didn't do them before, is because I wasn't at the right age. I don't know why that's a thing, but whatever. And I was going to try out for baseball, or softball, I reckon. Well, my mother actually ended up taking me out of the school I was in and sending me to another school, because I had to leave a bad situation. That's a story for another time. But anyway, so I went to this new school, and I came from a kind of low income, poor community school to a kind of privileged school, if I'm being honest. Like, but I was like, it's fine. I'm going to play baseball and have a good time. Or excuse me, softball. I like baseball. Sue me, okay? So naturally, just because I had switched school, I didn't think that there was any difference between a poor school and a privileged school. I didn't know, you know? I just thought school was school. Well, so I go to this little privileged school, and I try out for softball. Well, I didn't make the team, even though I now I could be kidding myself, but I felt like I was better than a few of them, and I should have made the team, but I didn't. But I didn't let it get to me. I was just like, whatever, I'll try out for volleyball this year, too. I was getting really into sports, y'all. Like, I was just a tomboy. I was always solid and strong. Sorry, I couldn't talk during that cut crease. I was focusing. Anyway, so I didn't make the softball team, but I was like, that's fine. And I tried out for volleyball. Now, volleyball, I really felt like I should have made the team, but I didn't because whatever. Even though, oh man, there was a few girls on that volleyball team that like couldn't even spell ball, let alone play volleyball. And I was like, why are they making the team? And I didn't. So I started to get a little biased towards everything already from that. And like I said, I could be wrong. I don't know for sure, but I've been a lot of things and stupid's never been one of them, okay? Just for real. So then football season was coming up. And I was like, I'll play football. Now, y'all, I have always been like a really solid person, okay? I've always had a little extra muscle. I've always had a little bit of extra fat too, but it is what it is. I'm overweight, but I've always just been just solid, okay? It is what it is. I was just meant for sports. I was meant for sports. So me and these two other girls, I remember, we walked to the little gymnasium to try out for football. Well, the coach immediately turned us all three away. It was like, yeah, man. Like, immediately, dude. Like, it wasn't even a question. It wasn't, like, even for me, and I'm, like, these two little old toothpicks walking beside me, and I'm like, even me? And they're like, oh, even you. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So, but he was like, but don't worry. You can try out for the Powder Puff team next week. I can what? I can try out for the Powder Puff team? We couldn't even call it the girls football team. Had to call it Powder Puff. Well, I didn't try out for that, but there was a little league football thing for girls to try out for that wasn't related to the school. So I went to go sign up for this little league team, this little league girls football team. And what made Little League girls football different from boys football was there was no tackling. It was two-handed tag, or kind of like a capture the flag moment. Like, there was different ones, but I had the two-handed tag one. And y'all, when I tell you after the first day of tryouts or whatever, that the coach kicked me off the team for being too rough. Like, she was just like, no, you can't play. You're too rough. So here I am. I obviously can play the games I want to play, but nobody's letting me play. And I'm just like, okay, so whatever. What do I do? So then I give up. That's how that works. I gave up. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to play any sports anymore. This is stupid. Ended up getting really angry in school, but that's okay. That's why we're here today. We're here to say that that is not what defines us. That is what makes us who we are, but that is not what defines us. I don't know. Have y'all ever experienced anything like that? Let me know in the comments below. Are you a girl that wasn't allowed to do boy things? Are you a boy that wasn't allowed to do girl things? Let me know. I'd love to hear your stories. I'd hate to hear your stories, you know, because I know some of them are going to be sad. If you're someone that wanted to do something that they weren't typically supposed to do, I love you. I know that it wasn't easy to go through. So I just wanted you to know that you're awesome. Y'all, can we just take a moment to appreciate how freaking pretty this palette is? I just got it in the mail like a few days ago. It is so pretty. And look at all those pretty colors. Like, these eyeshadows are everything, okay? So if you are looking for some good high pigmented eyeshadow, and there was hardly any fallout. I mean, it was kind of crazy. This is a really good palette. I am a fan. And it's so pretty. Look at it. It's so pretty. Anyways, that does it for this week's video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you were inspired. I hope you learned something. I hope you liked my eyeshadow. And I do really recommend this palette. The Warrior 3 palette from Juvia's Place. It is so good. Okay? It is just really freaking good. And it's so pretty. Look at that. I love this. Like, everything about this palette is just so pretty. Like, the color scheme, this. So anyways, that concludes it for this week. I hope you enjoyed my story. I hope you liked the makeup. I really recommend the Warrior 3 palette by Juvia's Place. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It would really help me out. Please give me suggestions on what you would like to see next week, and have a good one.